Testing.
Boom, boom, boom.
We're still waiting.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
I know. Okay, cool. We're good. Yeah, this room needs some film.
there. How's everyone doing? So at MHacks, we have a culture of being extremely welcoming to other people. So I want you to take a quick moment and talk to people on both sides of you, especially if you haven't talked to the person on one side. We're getting started in 5 minutes. How's everyone doing? What school is going to take MHacks by storm and win the first prize? Did I hear Purdue? Virginia Tech? Did Georgia Tech make it here yet? Who did I miss? Who did I miss? Oh, not Ohio State. Not Ohio State. So, if everyone could quiet down, we're about to get started on the kickoff. And I just wanted to start with a little story. When I went to my first hackathon, it was really awesome, and I had an amazing time, but I didn't feel like it was the place for me at first. I felt really out of place. I had never really coded before, and you know what I did? I went and bought the nerdiest glasses that I could find just to fit in. And this shouldn't have to be the case anymore. We should really, really work hard and be very conscious about how to make this into the most welcoming and inviting community for everyone. Because I really do believe that hackathons aren't just one-off events. This is something that can change someone's life. And everyone should have the opportunity to do that. And they should feel more than welcome and more than invited and more than this is their place to do that. So that was just something I wanted to start. This is the kind of kickoff, one of the big kickoffs to hackathon season. And I really want to set the tone of, an environment where when you see someone and they're sitting there and they might not know what they're doing, reach out to them, make them feel more comfortable and just be really proactive about this. Be consciously thinking about this. And yeah, this is one of the biggest things that I think this hackathon season we can work on. So one thing I wanted to ask, are there any other hackathon organizers in the crowd? Could they please stand up? Can they stand up? Let's give them a hand. Let's give them a hand. So these hackathons aren't just one-off events anymore. This is a community. As you can see, these people, the reason that there's so many organizers in this room is because other organizers help them out. When I started MHacks, Pen Apps helped us out, right? And that trickles down into more than just organizing hackathons. The big culture that we want to build here is that anything's possible in a weekend. And for that to be true for someone who's never built something before, there has to be mentorship. So if this isn't your first hackathon, try to become a mentor. Find someone who it's their first hackathon, find a team that is new to this game, and help them out at some point during this weekend. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the directors of this hackathon. We have Jamie and Vikram here. Rachel is still working and trying to make sure everything runs smoothly back at the venue, but I'd love for you to just give them a hand really quickly. And after our directors, probably the biggest people that came in to make this event happen are our sponsors. So we want to bring on our top sponsor, Quickie. They're doing some really cool stuff. They're the search engine for apps, but even more than that, they believe in hackathons, and they're giving this a chance. They're doing a huge program. They're going to be all over hackathon season, and I introduce you, Tomer, the CEO of Quickie.
All right, guys, thank you so much for having us here. We're really excited, flowing in from California. I think like 9 of us are here this weekend, coming out to support you guys. And we're the key sponsor, right? We threw down significantly because we believe in hackathons, we believe in startups. But there's actually more to it than that. And I figured it's a great opportunity to let you guys know why we're here. Why we're here all weekend, why we've thrown so many resources at this, and almost every major hackathon in the country this year. So, as you guys are hacking, as you guys are there working away at your ideas, at your innovations, I figured it's only fair if I share with you our ideas, our innovations, what we as Quickie are hoping to accomplish. So, at Quickie, we have one major goal, and that's to connect people and apps. So what does that mean? It means that the world is not the same world that I grew up in, right? We no longer use static websites, we use software. We call that software apps. Most of you in this room have ideas of things to build this weekend, which are software. You're going to challenge the notion of what's possible on your device. You're going to challenge the notion of what's possible in terms of new tools, of new awesome ideas, new games, new entertainments. You're going to really reinvent what technology can do for us. And that new reinvention has nothing to do with the web that I grew up on. It has to do with a whole new web, a web built on software. And unfortunately, that web of software isn't connected like it used to be. That web of software is about a bunch of islands of isolation. It's about you coding away your own solutions and hoping that your friends hear about them, that people somehow use them, and only learn about what they're capable of doing through word of mouth. So for 15 years, the crawlers we have used to look through the web have been very similar. We hit a page, we take its content, we take it in, and we identify what information's on that page. But most of what you develop isn't just pure content, right? It's buttons. How do I crawl Uber? I don't know, that's a pretty hard one. How do I crawl buttons, actions, ordering, right? Call to actions. So what we at Quickie are trying to accomplish is something a little different. We're trying to find a way to bridge that gap. We're trying to find a way to access all the apps, all the information, anything you could ever desire, and actually have it right at your fingertips. For the last 4 years, we have grown to over 160 people. We have raised over $70 million, and we work with companies all over the world, not just to provide them with app solutions, but to set the seed, to set the stage for what is, in the next few years, going to be our major push, our major innovation, our biggest hackathon. And that's to stop what's happening with all the major companies. When you guys look today at your phones, you have Apple, you have Google, and what they do is they solve the problems for you. And they solve them for you because they can't get access to what's inside. Google, you can't search for how much money is in your bank account and get a link to your Mint, right? You can't see the answer in Mint. So there's things like Google tries to answer that, right? Google can't see inside your apps. And so it has to give you answers themselves. And that forces them to build the solutions. For example, if you're going to build an app to compete with Yelp, you're actually competing with Google. If you're going to build an app to compete with Hipmunk, you're actually competing with Google. And they're not doing this because they don't like developers. They're doing this because there is no other way for them to access that information. And as we move to mobile, we don't want to live in a world where a few companies dominate all the content and a few companies dominate our entire experience. We don't want our experience to look like this, that even if you win, even if you were the top result, you still don't win, right? You're still not in control of what the user can see. So we've worked on this problem for quite a while, and I've come with our own solution. And our solution is that we want to evolve search. It's no longer about finding content. We want to be able to crawl into every one of your apps. We want to understand the logic, the structure, the functionality, and we want to be able to handle any kind of query anyone can ever throw at us. That means that we want to be able to reinvent search. So starting this year, and we've already started in beta, and we've already started in other markets, we are slowly unleashing category by category as we grow and build a system, an ability to actually access into apps and serve results right into search result. Put buttons on the search result page. Put information that you as a developer decide on the search result page. Let every single developer compete for users' attention. And we're not just doing this for things like restaurants. We're going to be pushing the limits of what's possible. We're going to be looking at things like games. We're going to be looking at how do you, let's say, find a poker table you're looking to play at. Because right now, if you wanted to play, let's say, 5-person, Hold'em, $2, $3, what if I could show you what tables are available real time right now across 26 different apps for you to play on? We're also going to be showing you things like how to get a ride and let every single company compete. Who can get you the best rate? Who can be there the fastest? And what's their competitive advantage? And that's what we're talking about of our innovation. How do you reinvent search? We call that search as a platform. It's an entire new concept of how do we work with developers, and which is why we're here today. We're here at hackathons because we want to learn from you guys what is the next generation of apps that are going to be built. Because I'll tell you, those next generation of apps are not going to be built by the guys in Silicon Valley right now. They're going to be built in your heads at school over the next 4 years, and you're going to be the ones launching them. You're going to be inventing new capabilities. You're going to be inventing new possibilities, and we want to understand what those are going to be so our system, our tools, can be prepared for that. So when we're here, and we're going to be here all weekend, and we have guys about all over the place, we want to learn from you, what do you think apps should be capable of doing? What are your apps going to be capable of doing? And what would you want to be seen on a search result page, or be able to be extracted, or what kind of functionality should someone be able to jump right into? So we're going to love to have those conversations. We're going to want to find out exactly what currently your phones don't do, but should. So it means that we're not just here, we're at a number of major hackathons. We are supporting them in resources, we're supporting them in people, we're supporting them in press coverage. We really do believe that the future really starts here. Most of the people we've hired in the last year, entry level, were guys from hackathons. There were guys that either put together hackathons, guys that put together interesting projects at hackathons that we felt really showed the level of innovation we wanted to have in our company. And so we really believe in the community you guys are building. And this community is pretty amazing. It didn't used to exist. The guys who have put this together have done you guys something amazing, which is that all around you in this room and all the rooms here in Michigan are a bunch of hackers, a bunch of guys who decided they want to invent and build. And now you know who they are. You can see them. And it's not just from Michigan, it's from colleges all around, and you can actually form a community. You can stay in touch with each other. You can ask questions. You can collaborate. You can find co-founders. You can get access. And this has never been done before. It's absolutely amazing. And we are just honored and proud to be part of that process and to be part of what's going to be the next wave of innovation over the next 4 years that you guys bring to mobile. Thanks.
That was awesome. So now we have another exciting speaker. But before he comes on, who here has heard of Alexis Ohanian's Without Their Permission tour? So a lot of you probably don't know about this, but he started the tour at Michigan, and now he's back to talk about why hackathons, why this weekend, why learning to code is more important than ever. I give you Alexis Ohanian.
Hello. What's up, Michigan? How you guys doing? I am indeed Alexis. I do not have a bus this time. The last time I was here, I was so excited. We brought a bus. We had this amazing start to what ended up being, I think it was an 86 university book tour. Thank you for those of you who came out for that. This will not be the exact same talk, don't worry. And just out of curiosity, I heard a lot of schools were in attendance, a lot of schools. Just by a show of hands, though, who thinks they've gone the furthest to come here? And if actually don't even use your hand, just shout it out. What's the furthest we got? What do you think? Whoa. I heard New York, and as a New Yorker, I'm thrilled, but I think UK. India wins. Nice. Bravo. Whoa. Damn, player. Okay. Okay, and you played it all cool, too, because you were just like, I'm just going to let them all name it. Oh, yeah, UK dude. Yeah, he thinks he came a long way. Dropped it. Lovely. Awesome. Awesome. You guys may not know this, and it's tricky, right? Because so much of this stuff we can't appreciate at the moment, in that moment in time, in that moment in history. But as an old person, I am 31, I have a bit of perspective on where you all are right now in your lives. Hear me out, okay? Because this is a really big deal, and I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled to be here, back at the University of Michigan, here at MHacks. Now, my story, 9 years ago, basically got started when I graduated from the University of Virginia. Now, wait, how many? We got one, two, couple wahoos. Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming out. I know Virginia Tech tends to show up at these things. But you know what? We're building a bridge. We are building a bridge. And I'll tell you, I was a college student there. Freshman year, first year, I should say. I moved in, and I saw this blonde-haired, blue-eyed angel named Steve, and he was playing Gran Turismo. And I was so thrilled, because I didn't think anyone else played video games. And lo and behold, here he was, sitting there in front of his PS2. And I was like, hi, Steve. I was so happy to meet him. He was less so, because he had seen my name on the door and thought I was a girl. Because he was like, oh, Alexis. And we still became friends, though, and it changed my life. That was just a random meeting of some random person I met in college. Let me make a point. I'm going to say a lot of things about how screwed up a lot of existing systems and status quo are, but let me point out, there would be no Reddit. There would be no Hitmonk. There'd be no book tour. There'd be no small empires. There'd be no really me on a stage had I not actually gone to UVA, had I not actually checked that little box to say old dorms, which at the time seemed kind of silly, even though old dorms are obviously way better than new dorms. But at the time seemed kind of silly, but that was a simple checkbox I still think about to this day because it's the reason that I got to know Steve. But all right, the point is, we were there living at UVA, and I saw him, we met, it was amazing, and then I had a waffle that changed my life because I was going to be a lawyer, and I went to a Waffle House, Georgia Tech's representing. I ate a lot of waffles on my trip there. I have a special place in my heart for it, and I believe there may even be a waffle surprise for some of you later. They're great not only for life-changing decisions, but also just if you're hungry, maybe with the munchies. But we're getting there. Don't worry, we're going to get there, all right? I will be up-toke, sir. I'll be the first in line for that investment. But anyway, when we started, and this is the crazy thing, right? Because here we were, just two bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Wow, that was me and Steve. And this is the TLDR. In case you didn't see the tour or the talk, that's the TLDR. All right, we had no fucking clue what we were doing. No clue. And here's the thing, no one does. Okay, 9 years later, I still most of the time don't know. Most people don't. So I want to plant that seed right now so you didn't even have to read the book. That's the gist. And then the other thing that I'm really, oh, come on. My Jedi mind powers, there they are, they're back. They're back. Some Sith in here. Okay, that's the other thing, is entrepreneurship is for everyone. This word is getting blown up because in the 21st century, everyone will need to think of themselves as an entrepreneur because knowledge is more accessible than ever, and a stage to show off what you have learned is more accessible than ever. And few know it better than you in this audience right here. Okay, because this is an amazing moment in history, okay? Now, how many of you are here at a hackathon for the first time, just by show of hands? Are you serious? Awesome. Wow. Wow. Oh, well done. Well done. Now, you may have some friends of yours who are like, you're spending your weekend doing what? But trust me, right decision, okay? This is the right decision. Because like I said, no one really has it all figured out. No one ever has. But right now we're at a time where there is so much change happening. There's so much innovation happening. There's just so much stuff being manipulated, by being adapted, being transformed by people just like us, that no one has the playbook, but you all here with that state of mind are in the best position to be creating the future you want to live in. And it's all through software, right? It's not something that's necessarily be on a syllabus, right? Turns out if you Google image search for syllabus, you find like 6 pages of clip art. So let that be an indication. Now again, let me stress, there'd be no Reddit if I hadn't gone to college. But we are at a time when so much technology, so much change is happening. You can't expect any real syllabus, any real thing to be able to keep up and adapt. But a hackathon, the self-teaching, the fact that you guys are here on your own volition, you all paid really good money or took on way too much student loan debt. We need to get that solved too, to go to college. And yet here you are, self-learning, deciding, you know what, this is actually kind of cool. You're volunteering your time. The economists in the room are like, that has utility, right? You're taking your time, your valuable time, and applying it towards more learning. You get this stuff free back at school, but you're doing this, and that's awesome because that is the future of education. And once that switch flips in your brain, you start seeing every hurdle, every challenge, every new weird thing as an opportunity to hack it. The whole world changes. You guys, I don't want to date myself, but you guys remember The Matrix, right? Yes, that is what will happen. There were no sequels, by the way. But at the end of it, Remember when Neo did the thing and he saw the green code? That is what life is like once you realize that, okay? And you all are in the process of it right now. You took the first step by coming here. And I want to see more of this, okay? Because like I said, I did this crazy bus tour last year. It was a lot of fun. But like I said, so much of what I encountered, 80+ universities, were so many administrators, so many faculty, so many students wondering, what do I do? What's the move? And the reality is, I don't know. I know it's going to be some kind of an evolution, and I know this is kind of ironic, which is why I put this up here, by the way. Make sure you get a little exercise, too. This is also important. We spend a lot of our lives in front of computers. Health, I don't care how hardcore of a founder you are. You don't need to be all like, I don't sleep for 2 weeks and I eat garbage. That is bad, okay? Rest is important, all right, and reasonable amounts of exercise as well, too. But you guys are here to hack, okay, right? You're here to make stuff. That's what you're here for. Yeah, it just keeps going. Just keeps going. That's the biggest thing I learned from an 86-stop university tour was animated GIFs. That's it. That's the solution to everything. But look, tools, right? As humans, we have used tools for a lot of stuff in the last few thousand years. We've done a lot. We've built tools on tools on tools, right? But in the last 100 years, the tools we have been able to create, thanks to software, have an exponential ability to change our worlds. This is crazy. I mean, we have seen this kind of explosive change and growth before, right? We saw a time before we had the printing press. There were people whose full-time jobs it was, and I guess a bunch of monks too, to just scribe, to just write stuff, write copies down of books, which obviously limited the distribution of knowledge a little bit. And then some dude named Gutenberg, you guys know the history lesson, printing press, voila, this gives birth to so much knowledge, the Renaissance, the Enlightenment, all that stuff, just because you could take an idea and spread it really easily without having to waste all that time scribbling down the notes, and I've got terrible penmanship, so I would have been terrible at it. But the point is, that changed the game. Now imagine you were living back in Europe back then, and you were one of the few who was lucky enough to have had access to some of those books and have had access to that literacy. Think of how far ahead of the rest of the game you would have been. But ultimately, it was a very, very, very small fraction of very privileged people who first got the access. And you start looking at a global scale, it starts becoming really mind-numbing. But I'm going to get back to that, okay? Because knowledge, that ability to learn from one another, right? Because we're all just copy machines. That's all we do. Everything's a remix. We see something, whether it's a recipe or a way to, I don't know, a typeface, and we think that's cool. Let me copy it, maybe improvise and make it a little bit better. But imagine, think, one of the most catastrophic events of Western civilization was when the library in Alexandria burned, okay, because of all the knowledge that was lost, because of all of that tragedy, and it really was, right? But the entirety of that knowledge that went up in smoke there is sitting hundreds, no thousands of times over in your pockets, in your phones. And if you've got that phone and you're able to get on the internet, it's not even comparable. Right? The amount of knowledge we have now, a 12-year-old sitting on her smartphone has access to more knowledge in real time than the President of the United States did just a few decades ago. That is crazy, but it's awesome. And you all are sitting here at the forefront at this same very pivotal moment, and you're deciding to learn the new fluency, the new literacy for the 21st century, which is code. All right, I know it seems really hyperbolic, but really, I'm seeing this happen. I've been lucky enough to have a front row seat for this, right? I was lucky enough to meet up with Steve that first year, that first day, and we co-founded Reddit. I've worked with him to launch another startup, Hitmonk. I'm now an investor in about 100 startups, and I recently rejoined Y Combinator. We'll get back to that later. In the last 10 years, there's been so much, but it's still just a fraction of what you all are capable of, okay? You all, face it, you guys, you're wizards. You're fucking wizards, okay? That is what the power of software is. And look, in just the last 4 years, right? Look at what it's done to hardware, okay? This Myo that I'm wearing on my, like, this wasn't even conceivable 4 years ago. And it was started by some university students up there in Canada, up America's hat, right? Incidentally, Canadians are really nice about that too. They actually laugh at that as well. They're so wonderful. But really, this is, and I don't know where it's headed, but all signs indicate to basically you all doing wizardry. It's downright sorcery right now because the rest of the game, whether it's in the United States, whether it's in Canada, whether it's across the world, is just starting to get online and just starting to see this come to fruition. And you all here have, we are in such a fortunate position right now to have the access that we do. Please take full advantage of it. And I want to talk about the other status quo things, right? I want to talk about resumes and CVs and GPAs. This is the thing the professors love, okay? These are going to be the resumes of the future, right? Your Stack Overflow profile, right? What have you made? What have you done? What have you contributed? What have you built? Do you see a GPA on there? No. Do you see a university on there? No. Your GitHub account, right? Like, what's on there? The stuff that you've made, the stuff that you've contributed, the stuff that you built. This is what investors like me want to see. This is what employers want to see. They want to know a lot more about what you have created than perhaps what grade you got on that test. Again, your professors may hate me, and I'm not saying everyone drop out, but I'm saying that the things that we are looking to value now are more about what you can do and not about how well you can do on a test. Okay, and that's just fundamentally useful, right? That for the rest of your lives, you will find yourself coming back to that. And that same hunger that brought you here for knowledge and curiosity, let it keep going, let it grow, all right? Now, at YC, we have our own application form, and we don't ask for, thoughtful essays. We don't care about your GPA. We want to know if you understand something the rest of the world doesn't yet. And this seemed kind of crazy at the time when PG and Jessica were first crafting this application. You think they ever would have imagined that this kid would have submitted something like this? I mean, this doesn't make any sense, right? A college student, how could a college student with no real world experience know something that an entire industry doesn't? How could some college student know something that Google hasn't figured out or Amazon won't figure it out? I mean, Drew Houston was just a college student who had an idea. This is actually from Dropbox's Y Combinator application, right? And that was a company, need I remind you, that was started on a bus. He was actually in South Station taking a Chinatown bus to New York when he left his thumb drive. Didn't have the files on him, obviously, and decided, I'm going to solve this problem, right? These can start from humble beginnings, and what's so crazy is even the experts, right? Even Paul and Jessica saw that there was something there, but they didn't quite know what it was going to be. None of them would say that they would have expected it to have grown as fast and epically as it has in such a short period of time. But look, that's kind of nice, though, right? Because it means we have to start wondering about everything. Right? We have to start wondering if we're a hotel operator just 5 years ago, could we ever have competition from, I don't know, a couple college students? Because they've got an air mattress. They can't possibly compete with us, and yet in 5 years, Airbnb has more rooms than Hilton. Right? Who saw that coming? Well, they did, but even they were still trying to figure it out. They struggled for a year and a half. Read all these stories. They're all freely available. But the point is, we're all hacking this. And that's an opportunity for every one of you, even to look at things that were ridiculed during the last tech boom. Remember Webvan? Actually, none of you probably do. I was in high school during Webvan, and I remember it getting ridiculed because it was an epic failure. It cost a lot of money. And then lo and behold, someone realized, hey, you know what? You don't need to own all the trucks. You just need a smartphone. And you can pay these shoppers $15 to $20 an hour to do a really efficient job picking out those groceries and delivering them. This was the scalable way to do online, nearly instant grocery delivery. And it didn't involve a fleet of trucks. It involved software and hardware that was so trivial that 60% of Americans had it. Now, like I said, you guys are wizards. That is awesome, okay? And if I can stretch this Harry Potter thing a little bit more, there are lots of you here, right, who may, and you heard that very honest, very candid story from Dave, may at times feel like, you're a little overwhelmed, right? We've all been there. Trust me, we have all been there, myself included. And so please, I ask, for all of you who have taken the amazing step, and there's a ton of you, you guys outnumber the veterans, okay? So remember that. You always outnumber them. But please make this as awesome a place for everyone. If you see someone who's looking for a partner or see someone who's a little bit confused about what's going on with this thalamic on their bicep or whatever, forearm, biology, help them out. Make this as amazing a place for anyone as possible. Now, I assume you guys are going to get a little addicted to hackathons, which is a pretty common thing. As you start going to more of these, this year in particular, especially now that hackathons are sort of a thing now, right? It's official. It is happening, all right? Go out of your way to bring someone who's never written a line of code before. All right, bonus points if they don't look anything like you. Because this is how we are going to get the world of the future that we all deserve. The world of the future that benefits from the talent and the genius and the brilliance of everyone, of at least as many people as we can. Remember, I said at the very start, oh no, come back. What I said at the very start was that the Renaissance was an amazing thing, and Western civilization credits it with the creation of so much ingenuity and culture. It's lasted for so long, right? And Michelangelo was sitting there lying on his back for 4 years painting a ceiling, and Raphael. Raphael was painting for years, and these were just a few. These were just a few of the people who were lucky enough to get the access to have their genius scale, so to speak, right? Because Renaissance Europe still only affected a pretty small region, a very small population in a very small region of the world. And as we all know, software is much more wide-reaching. And the next great idea is going to come from anywhere. There's someone with an internet connection and access to software. And so I just want to make sure we get all the best stuff we can. And we can actually make an impact right here because of where we are, right? At the start of this hacking season, I really hope, I want to come, I'm going to be at the MIT Hackathon, I'm going to swing by a few more. YC is going to have a presence almost, I think, at every one of them. But I want to see by the end of this hackathon season, I want entirely new auditoriums built just for hackathons to accommodate all of the people who are excited to go there. And I want them to look just as representative as of the United States as possible. And look, the most important thing you guys have to remember, and this is the really serious thing, okay, is have an amazing fucking time, all right? This is college. Have a great time with this. Build amazing stuff. And then remember, you guys, upvotes for all of you. Thank you very much.
Back out on stage, man.
Just let's give this guy one more round of applause, everybody. He's fantastic. Hey. So, I know you don't know me. I'm Taylor Fairbank. I sent you a couple of Facebook messages. I'm founding a medical technology nonprofit. We're just trying to do the right thing, and I want 30 minutes of your time. I'm up here without their permission. So can we grab lunch? I know you like hummus or whatever, and
Do you guys have hummus here?
I can get you. I will go to Walmart and buy you hummus.
Yeah, we'll have a waffle. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks, man.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Cool.
Well done.
So next we're going to have some really cool and quick talks by some of the most awesome companies you've ever heard of. So we're going to have some of our top sponsors, A16Z, then Apple, then Bloomberg, then Capital One, then Chrysler, and then Facebook Parse. So I give you A16Z, one of the coolest companies here.
Thank you, Dave. Good evening, hackers. I'm Dave Jagoda from Andreessen Horowitz, and we're proud to be a sponsor of this event. Louder. Can you guys hear me? Hello, hello. Good evening, hackers. All right, better. I'm from Andreessen Horowitz, proud to sponsor MHacks 4. We are looking forward to seeing the hacks you guys are going to build this weekend. Let's see. So, you're probably ready to get started, so I'll make this brief. We are going to be in the design hack room, which is, I think, room 14, if you'd like to hear more about the companies that we've invested in. One of those companies is Jawbone, and with that, I'd like to introduce Drew McGuire.
Hey, everybody. My goal is to be briefer than Dave, but that's going to be really difficult. So, we're really proud to be part of the Andreessen Horowitz portfolio, and really excited to be here for MHacks this year. You guys brought us to Penn Apps last year and Hack MIT, and I was asked several times by Jessica why we didn't come to MHacks last year, so I'm glad we could really rectify that this year and make sure that we're here. So as Alexis said, it's great because the reason why we enjoyed our experiences last year at the hackathons we went to is we actually get to see what you guys can do, like just physically here hacking away and doing it. Looking at our internship programs that we built, we're looking more at not resumes, but what people are actually doing in the labs, doing at hackathons and things like that. So we're really excited, and I'm really glad that you guys invited us as well. Thanks, guys.
Who here has a Mac? Wow. Next I give you Apple.
Thanks, Dave. Hi guys, my name's Mike. I'm from Apple. We'll be out here all weekend with you guys as well. If you want to do Swift this weekend, awesome opportunity to really dive into language and learn it. I have a whole bunch of engineers with us as well. So you get stuck, you have questions, something like that, come talk to us. We'll be on the Serpentine couches right when you walk into the BBB. I also have iPads and iPod Touches if you want to borrow one to put your app on a device. If you need to borrow a developer account, I can help you with that as well. And we are also doing a prize as well. The team that makes the top iOS app gets a 128 gig iPad mini with Retina display for each member of the team. Thanks, guys.
Next, we'll have Bloomberg start setting up. I'm just curious, how many people have iPhones and how many people have Androids? iPhones first. Wow. How many Androids? Wow. How many people raised their hand twice? We're ready to go. And next, I give you Bloomberg. How you doing? Yeah, they're all beating it. Yeah, so just a quick note for the sponsors that are coming up. Andy right here is keeping track of time. Sure, it's not going to be a problem, but he'll be right here. This is Andy, everyone. Give Andy a hand.
Hi, guys. So I'm here from Bloomberg, and Bloomberg is really proud to be at a lot of hackathons. Like at this time, we are at Johns Hopkins doing another hackathon, and we'll be doing about 20 hackathons this year. And I went to Michigan here, and it's a pleasure and a privilege to come back and participate and contribute and help students out. So Bloomberg is a big data company. We do deal with a lot of financial data, and we are here to open up our proprietary data, which the exchanges don't open up, for you guys to develop interesting tools and apps and interesting devices with it. So without further ado, I'll just jump into some simple, so like we have APIs for almost all languages across all platforms. And here's a sample code that you would write in Python. And you have stock data for IBM in less than 20 lines. The way you get, so most exchanges ask you for signing long-term contracts and charge you a lot of money. We are opening that up right now for free for the duration of this hackathon. We are also hiring, and more about that later. So for the people who win our prize, there are 3 things that we are giving away. One is $1,000 for the winning team, 1 Parrot AR drone for each member of the winning team, and a 1-hour lunch session with our recruiters and our mentors. You can ask us anything about Bloomberg or software development or anything in general. So the way you get access to our API is you stop by our desk, and we will issue a key to you, and you'll get that as an email, and the email will contain instructions of how to access our API, and you'll also have access to this slide deck. You can contact us at MHacks@bloomberg.net. And the way, so there are a couple of ways of accessing our data. Either you install it on your own PC, or you can get an Ubuntu image that we have where everything is already installed, and you can just plug and play directly. So these slide decks also have installation instructions, and our API is available at openbloomberg.com. That's about it from me. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. And next, have any of you been to the Capital One Cafe in San Francisco? Has anyone worked out of there? It's really, really awesome. You should check it out. But we have Capital One coming up. So thank you.
In fact, we have cafes in Boston, New York, and all over the place, Philly, so most major cities.
Yeah, so we are Capital One, and yes, that is the bank, and we do have the visit gloss for that same company. We've been getting a lot of questions about if we're actually that Capital One. But before I describe what we do and why we're here, I actually would love it if all of you took like 2 seconds and thought about some problems that you've had with your bank. So just actually think about the last time you were like, what is going on right now? Where is my money? Why is this so slow? Maybe you had problems casting your check. Yeah, people can probably go for a very long time. So as you think about what all those problems are, you're also really thinking about what we're trying to do. It's a long list, and we have a long way to go, but our goals are to fix all of those things. We have some great engineers, but we're really looking for more. Our main stack is Java, but we also, we have hundreds of apps. So we do all sorts of things, Rails, Python, Angular, pretty much whatever language you're interested in, we probably have something going on in there. We're also really starting to get into hardware. So if you're serious about hardware, definitely come talk to us because we might have some cool roles there. I think that's most of what we work on. If any of that sounds interesting, come and talk to us. We have a room, we have a booth. Or if you are running another hackathon and looking for sponsors, come talk to me. My name is Caitlin. I have a real passion for asking people for money, so if you talk to me, that would be really helpful. And now Mitch is going to talk about what our prize is, maybe verify how often I ask for money. Oh, right, our roles. So we have internships for everybody, freshman, sophomore, junior. For freshmen, we also offer a summit. So it's like a week long, you come to DC, there's a hackathon, you see what we do. Not quite as intense as an internship, but definitely an option if that's interesting for you. Then we have full-time roles as well. We have locations in Richmond, Wilmington, and New York City, but our main ones are DC, Chicago, Dallas, and San Francisco. So yeah, if you have questions around what our roles are and what you can apply for, come to our booth.
Yeah, so now prizes, right? Everybody's here? Everybody likes prizes? So we're looking for some awesomeness when it comes to a financial service app or hardware hack that has to do with money or financial services or anything like that you might have an idea. And if you have that, each member of the team will get their choice of an Oculus Rift, a drone, or a Google Wear type device. So if you're looking at some of these new devices, you can see that. We're going to be in room 1012. We'll be willing to help you, give you ideas if you're looking for some ideas, talk about what an API might look like around financial services or banking. We certainly have that internally. And we're looking for great people, just like she was saying, that like to build things, create things, like Alexis was saying. You know, you're out there doing something. That's what we're looking for. Who wants to change banking? You know, who in here wants to change banking? Anybody? Few people? Okay, that's a great, exciting thing. So what ideas can we do? What can we really do? That's it there. So we're looking there. We're going to be doing some presentations too. So if anybody wants to play with Node.js and start learning it or get familiar with it, we'll be presenting on Node.js. We're also going to do a Wear presentation. So if you want to learn how to build something on Google Wear, we have some people like that. Also, if you're just interested in iOS or Android and you want to talk to some people that have some real developer experience with that and stuff, you can come by and stop by our room. Thank you.
Speaking of awesome prizes, because those are some awesome prizes, who here saw the green Dodge Challenger outside? That's not a prize, sorry, but Chrysler's coming up.
All right. Okay, thanks, guys. I'm Jim Zondag from Chrysler, and a lot of these companies that have been here stating long time involvement with Hackathon. This is Chrysler's first Hackathon, so thank you all you guys for us coming here. Okay, so you ask yourself, why are we here? We're a car company. We make cars. For over 100 years, we've been making cars right here in Detroit. The reason that we're here is because things are changing. Things are changing very fast. You know, 100 years ago, they needed metallurgists, they needed people who knew gears, they needed people who knew internal combustion. Now we're connecting all the cars to the internet. We're bringing mobile communications and all sorts of things that you guys work on every day into the car, bring your digital life into the vehicle with you. We need people like you. We need people who know frameworks. We need people who know applications. We need people who know software. We're looking for people to work with us to bring the automotive industry into the next millennium. So that's what I do. That's actually my job. I have one of the coolest jobs in the world. Is I am in charge of connected vehicle services at Chrysler. So we work on programs to connect millions of cars to the internet, use the vehicle as a giant mobile sensor platform, usefulness, APIs to connect to all sorts of things. We have a great team of people here today. So we've got 12 engineers here from Chrysler today, from Powertrain Systems, IT, and Uconnect Connected Vehicle Services. We're in room 1018, and we're going to be working with you guys to see who can make the best automotive-related application. This can be anything you can imagine. Some of the things that we've done is we built an environment where we can take sensor data from the car, abstract it into Android, and you can write an Android app that can use real data from the car. The green Challenger that we've got outside is set up to be able to do this. And we've got some engineers who can help with this. Or you can do anything that you can imagine. The future of the automobile is changing, and we're right here with you guys, and we're very excited to be part of this hackathon. We've got a $1,000 prize for the best automotive-related app, and we want to see one of you guys win it. So thank you for being here. Okay.
Does anyone here use Facebook? MySpace. Oh, yeah, no. And who is there anyone else here who really hates dealing with backends when they don't work? Yeah, a few. So next up we have Facebook and Parse, and yeah, they've been with us since the first MHacks, actually. We're the top sponsor. So I just want a huge hand for them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dave. I'm Nancy. This is Hyla. We're here from Facebook and Parse. First, to get started, I want to hear a little bit of something from you guys. How excited are you to get hacking in like 10 minutes or something? Yeah? Yeah? Oh, that doesn't sound that excited. How really excited are you guys to get hacking? Awesome. So, to help you out, we've got a few different tools for you. Facebook platform products are fantastic. You can use Facebook login to help personalize the experience on your app. You can use our social plugins and notifications, and you can also use Facebook Graph API, so you can use real data instead of some placeholder nonsense. And, of course, you've also got a chance to use Parse here. It's the easiest way to take you from zero to app in no time. Really easy to deploy back-end infrastructure for mobile and web apps. We work with everything, Android, iOS, Windows, everything. We are doing an API workshop tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and so we've also got a Parse engineer on hand and Facebook engineers on hand to answer any of your questions. And best part of all is we are doing a prize. We're doing a giant fancy prize. We are giving a best use of Parse prize of $1,000 to a team out there, so get hacking, and we have some other fancy surprises too.
Before I get into what we have next, or maybe what questions and answers I can provide to you, I just want to give a shout out to all the ladies in the room. Can I get some noise? Woo! Awesome. Really excited to see all of you here. Got a chance to meet a few of you at our booth today. So just wanted to give that shout out. I'm excited for what you guys are going to do, ladies and gents, over the course of the next couple of days. My name is Hyla. I work to run our global intern program. So we have tons of internship opportunities around the country and around the world. So our 4 main engineering offices are in Menlo Park, just south of San Francisco, in Seattle, New York, and in London. So if you have any questions about what internship opportunities we have or what full-time opportunities, happy to talk to you about those. We will be located in one of the other buildings. We're in 1014. Oh gosh, I'm dying. In 10:14, I've been talking a lot today. I'm a little parched. But we have tons of folks on hand to answer any questions that you have about what you're going to be building, but just for future opportunities with Facebook or with Parse, Instagram, Oculus, etc. So feel free to come by and check us out. All right. Where's Dave?
So now we're ramping up and we're getting towards hacking. So it's only right that we tell you about all the awesome prizes that we have at MHacks this year. So Jamie's got this.
All right, thanks, Dave. All right, my name's Jamie. I'm one of the directors here. I'm going to quickly go through some of the other prizes that we have from our sponsors. Both of the following two are for $1,000. We have Moxtra doing Best Collaboration Hack and KPCB doing Most Innovative. Then we have State Farm doing a Big Data Hack for $500 plus a Fitbit. And then we've got Microsoft. They actually have two prizes. First place gets a Surface Pro 3, and second place gets $500. And that's for best use of Microsoft platform using Azure or Windows Store or Windows Phone app. Then we've got a bunch of $500 prizes. We have Qualcomm giving Most Disruptive, TechSmith giving Best in Design, Goldman Sachs Engineering giving Best User Experience, IBM giving Best User Experience using IBM Bluemix, Drive Capital in partnership with FarmLogs giving Best Use of Mobile Sensor Data, Pillar giving Technology on the Move, Uber giving Best Hack that affects the physical world, and Yo giving Best Use of Yo. And then, if any of you want to take home one of those awesome Mayo development kits that you saw Alexis using earlier, we've got Thalmic Labs giving out Mayos to the top Mayo hack. And then also, we've got a Codility algorithm challenge going on tomorrow at 1 p.m. It's an hour long, and the top 3 finishers of that will also take home Mayo bands. And now, I'm going to hand it over to Swift to talk about MLH.
What is up, MHacks? They call me Swift, and I am the commissioner for Major League Hacking. So if you guys haven't heard about Major League Hacking, we power the world's official hackathon league. Last semester, 15,000 students participated in our hackathons in the US and Canada. This semester, we expanded to the UK and Mexico, and that number is going to double if you ask me. If you haven't heard about Major League Hacking, by being here and completing hacks, you're earning valuable points for your school. There's a hacker cup that's pretty insane. It's about this tall, has lights and a fog machine in the top. You can check it out. It's actually in the auditorium where you guys came in. The school that wins the most points at the end of the season is going to get the right to engrave their name on the cup. There's also some other awesome stuff that we're doing here at MHacks. We have a full hardware lab with some of the latest hardware that you can check out and hack on. It's got Mayos, Oculus Rift, Leap Motion, Pebble, Arduino, Tesla, Spark Core, pretty much anything you can imagine. If you go over to the Major League Hacking table later on, you can just check that stuff out and hack on it all weekend and make something amazing. We also got a sweet photo booth powered by Dell. You can go and take a photo with you and your friends and tweet it so you have something to remember being here by. You can also come and check out some of the sweet games and Alienware setups that we have out there as well. We're also live streaming the demos right now. There's about 150 people tuned in at home watching this right alongside with you. We'll be live streaming throughout the course of the event and the final demos as well. I want to thank MHacks organizers for having us here and for being a part of Major League Hacking. One of the things we believe is inclusiveness. We believe that everyone in the world has the right to hack. All of you have the right, I have the right, everyone. And being inclusive and representing that is super important, and we need to be a very welcoming community and ensure that all the people in this room who've never been to a hackathon, raise your hand if this is your first one. We need to make all of these people feel welcome. When they walk home at the end of the weekend, they need to say, that was the best experience of my life. I'm going to be at the next hackathon next weekend. So Major League Hacking wouldn't be possible without the support of some amazing sponsors. First and foremost, I'd love to thank Dell. They're a fantastic company that's doing a lot of awesome stuff. They're powering all of the Alienware computers that you're going to be hacking an Oculus Rifts with. We're giving away Dell Venue Android tablets to the first place team. We also have a ton of other surprises that they're powering this weekend. It's going to be insane. Namecheap is giving away free domain names to every single hacker in this room and every single hacker that participates in a Major League Hackathon this year. If you haven't stopped by the Namecheap booth and picked up a free domain name, absolutely go do that. We also got Twilio. Twilio is actually giving up to 4 custom action figures of you for the best Twilio hack this weekend. That's not a joke. SendGrid is going to give away a Parrot AR drone to the best SendGrid hack. That's pretty awesome. For the best domain name from Namecheap, they're going to get $250 in Namecheap credit. So when you register your free domain name, make sure you tweet it at Namecheap. PayPal is going to guarantee an interview for a team of up to 4, and also a 10,000-piece Lego set of the Death Star that you can hang in your room. All right, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but before I get off stage, I want to give the MHacks organizers a huge round of applause for putting this together. Without them, we definitely would not be here. And last but not least, I want to have you guys give yourselves a round of applause, because the truth is, hackers are taking over the world, and you're helping us get there. Thanks, guys. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Hey, guys. So I come up here every year or every semester and tell you guys that the sponsor prizes don't matter, and you should build what you want. You should build something awesome. That all still applies, but this year I want to tell you a little story about building tools. So I live in San Francisco now, and I was at one of those like startup launch parties, whatever, and an intern walks up to me and says, "Hey, you look really familiar." I was like, "Yeah, I guess." And he's like, "Yeah, we were hacking at the hardware thing at MHacks, and we weren't in the big house, blah, 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 blah." And I was like, yeah, totally. I remember meeting you. How did your hack turn out? He's like, well, we didn't win. Presentation went awful. I can't even remember if they actually presented. But they kept working on what they built. And so I asked him, I was like, so what'd you build? And there's this tool for streaming video to devices and whatever, and it's built by NVIDIA. And they wanted to build an open source version of that, just like this really simple tool that does one thing that lots of people can use. Well, 8 months later, or however long it was, 10,000 users, hundreds of stars on GitHub, and Aaron and his team from Case Western are building something that is actually having an effect on the rest of the developers out there. So that's my story. Let's give Aaron and his team a round of applause. So yeah, he's inspired me to build tools, and I hope you guys consider that kind of mindset as well. Enjoy MHacks.
What's up, guys? So, you could have probably hacked in your basement tonight. You could probably sit alone, all by yourself, maybe just chill, or not. Instead, you're at MHacks. Because MHacks has Quickie, because MHacks gets Alexis Ohanian, because MHacks has sponsors, mentors, and it's a place to connect with other awesome hackers. Just look at the people around you. It's a place to grow your network. It's a place to meet just some of the most amazing people ever. It's just from organizing MHacks, I've met just so many amazing people, and then just kind of from the last 3 hours of just seeing all of you, I've just encountered so many of you that, oh. Wow. I've just seen so many of you that I didn't know in person, but just suddenly you see them, you're like, oh my God, and I feel like we're already like such good friends. So yeah. So in this effort, you might have noticed that some of our rooms are themed and some of our rooms aren't themed. You might be wondering what that's all about. So what we did is we built cortexes around major technologies such as iOS, Android, wearables, virtual reality, etc. And yeah, we have open hack spaces too, but what we tried to do around these cortexes is create a spot where if you had a question about iOS, this is like a certain location you can go. And it's not just that you have awesome engineers in these rooms that focus on these technologies, but you also have other hackers that are working on similar projects that are going to be in these rooms. So it's definitely the place to go if you're working somewhere, you have a question on iOS, and you're stuck, you don't know what to do, head over to the Cortex, and then maybe you'll find someone that can help you. So when you need help, you can find someone who shares the same passions you do. MHacks hackers also demand respect from each other. If you see a hack or a hacker disrespecting another hacker, it's your obligation to take action, to let them know that their behavior isn't representative of our community. Tell a volunteer, tell a director, because this is what we do, and we don't let bad experiences taint the entire event. But as always, we'll have the best hardware. Rifts, Pebbles, drones, Mayos, Android Wear. We just got a few DJI Phantoms, so that'll be pretty sick. And come by the MLH space and see everything that MLH and MHacks have to offer. And also, if you don't have anyone to work with yet, and you're still not on a team, right after this, in the Gates room, which is between both atriums, you can, there's going to be a kind of a team mixer where you can go and meet other people who don't have teams yet and get connected. So last thing I'm going to cover is rules for this event. So 4 people per team, except for if you're participating in our Adopt the Noob program. A lot of people had questions about that, so I'll kind of go into that a little bit. What that means is that if you have an inexperienced hacker on your team, you can have up to 5 members. And if you, let's say you win a prize, instead what happens is that that 5th member will get a $100 prize courtesy of MHacks. So that's pretty sweet. Other rules is 1 outlet per person. It's kind of standard stuff. And please do not bring your own power strips, because it's just 1 extra power strip that kills an entire room of energy. It's really sad. And we'll be adding more power and more Ethernet to all the rooms over the next few hours. And one other thing, which is no sleeping in our venue. This is a thing that we've had to deal with because of certain fire code issues, but within the venue itself, there's no sleeping. Sorry, it's just kind of the way it is. And so yeah, and volunteers after this. Yeah, what's up? What? Just within the building itself, no sleeping. So you can sleep under the stars. It's a beautiful night. But now MHacks gives you one more thing. Brendan Uribe, founder of Oculus.
Whoa. Wow. This is awesome. It's really great to be here. Big honor. So many incredibly smart people out in the audience here. I love being at hackathons. I started at hackathons when I was young and ambitious and full of naive ideas and all kinds of ambitious goals and had no idea about realities. And that's where you make the best stuff. That's where all of these incredible inventions came from. They really came from you guys. So when Sharik emailed me and said, hey, could you come speak at today's hackathon? And I thought, you know, that sounds super exciting. It would be an honor, and it would be fun to be here and see what you guys create. You know, that's interesting. When is it? It's tomorrow. Okay, well, I'm in Berlin. So this might be a little difficult. Let me see what I can do on flights. But that's what hackathons are all about. That's what startups are all about. They're, you know, move fast and break things, right? And so there goes my itinerary, broken. And my assistant is just now going to bed, and she luckily made a lot of different changes to get here. But it is awesome to be here, and this is something where you guys are getting ready to have no sleep. I'm just coming off of Berlin. I don't know how many of you saw the news on Gear VR. Woo! So Gear VR is, you know about Oculus and the Rift, but Gear VR is a product that we just announced with Samsung, and we were in Berlin at the Samsung Unpacked announcing that, and that was about 3 to 4 days of absolutely no sleep, much like what you guys are about to go through. I feel for you. I'm just getting off of it. And it was an incredible event. We got up on stage. John Carmack got up on stage and announced the product, and it was really exciting to see all this work come to fruition, to finally be on stage, to get something out that's going to get out to everybody. And I think it's important that people understand where Oculus came from. We're a hack. We started as a hack.
We started with Palmer Luckey hacking together with duct tape and hot glue and some foam core boards, some magnifying lenses. I think he was 16 when he made the first prototype of Oculus Rift. Younger than probably most of you guys. And he created the Rift in the beginning just by himself as a hack. At 19, we put together the company and got lucky enough to partner with him. Again, it was a hack. It was duct tape in the beginning. Gear VR, which we just announced on stage with Samsung, which is a pretty large company, pretty big stage to put it out there, started out as a hack. It was a 3D printed, slightly better than hot glue and foam core board. But it was a 3D printed holder that you could drop your phone in, and you could put it on, look around, and it pretty much made you ill instantly and didn't work. Fast forward a year of work, and we finally made it something real that we were on stage in front of, I think, 14 million people announcing as a real product. Again, it started out as a hack. So, so many things start out as hacks. I think by 19-year-olds, by 18-year-olds, the beginning of Oculus, the beginning of Microsoft and Apple, and the beginning of Netscape and the browser from Mark Andreessen started out as a college project, right? And that was the beginning of the browser and internet. The beginning of social and networking started in a dorm room. So there's so much opportunity that you guys have. You really are the future. And we believe that virtual reality is going to be a big part of the future too. So I was excited to come here and talk to you guys about virtual reality, the future, and hacking, and how ultimately the world that we live in a decade or two from now is going to be a world that you guys created. I'll have fun participating in it and looking around and hopefully not getting too sick. But you guys will have made the experiences and the platform of the next computing paradigm, which we really believe is virtual reality. How many of you believe in virtual reality? Yeah, all right. I did not 2.5 years ago. It was something that I think many people out there dream about. I dreamed about it, but until I saw Palmer's first prototype, I really didn't necessarily believe that it was ever going to happen. A lot of people had tried and failed, and it just wasn't there. And then, lo and behold, a young 19-year-old hacks something together that suddenly goes to change the world. And that's just a testament to what you guys can do. You really can change the world. Many of you will. You literally will make something that impacts millions and millions of people. And I thought about, what could I say here that would leave an impact on you guys? One of the things that is really important, so I thought of 3 or 4 kind of important points. And one of them is hard work. You hear like hard work pays off, and there's all these different coins around hard work. I cannot stress how important working hard is, how important staying focused and just getting done the project that you're working on. School projects, you should get those done quickly and put them out of the way. And then get right back to the cool stuff, which is what I consider like side hacks, which are your ideas, your inventions. That's what's going to change the world. And a project at school is not going to change the world. Let's be honest, it's just not going to. But something that you come up with, that you invent, that's an incredible idea, can have an awesome impact if you really work hard. And I cannot stress how hard you have to work. I dropped out of college when I was 19 for an idea that I thought was going to be not that hard, which was let's make a better windowing system than Microsoft and Apple. Yeah, not that hard, easy. So my business partner and I, also 19 when we were freshmen in college, decided to drop out and run at making a better windowing system. About 6 years later, and literally we were counting them sometimes, 100, 120-hour weeks that we were programming. About 6 years after we dropped out, we realized that we were not going to change the world with our windowing system, and that we were going to fail with our windowing system, and it wasn't going to work. And I mean, we killed ourselves for 5 to 6 years to do this. So we quickly pivoted, and we figured out a way to turn it into a flash player that went on to power a lot of the user interface and became the windowing system for games. And we narrowly averted death. We definitely tapped the bottom. We moved into my mom's house. We lived with my mom. This is, tough. When you drop out of college and you take a few other people with you and drop out of college, and then you say, hey, Mom, we need to move in with you. That's really tough. You go, we're really hungry today. Is there any food? Yeah, it's tough. But we managed to pull it off, and we turned it around, built a really cool team, and ended up selling it, and went on to do a lot of cool stuff. So working hard is incredibly important. You also have to take risks. You can't change the world if you don't take a risk. Dropping out to create a windowing system was maybe a little too much of a risk, but at the end of the day, it did define who we are, and probably wouldn't be here if we hadn't done it. And I absolutely would do it again. So you have to take incredible, awesome risks. The bigger the risk, the crazier the risk, the potentially bigger outcome you're going to have. So don't be afraid of taking risks. Go out there. If something sounds impossible, you're at the age where you don't realize that it probably is. So you should try it. Go for it. Really, taking risks is awesome. If you asked me to do virtual reality and said, go out there and make it happen, before I saw Oculus Rift, I probably wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to take that risk. It would be too hard for me until I saw the Rift, made by a 19-year-old who didn't have an idea of impossible. He didn't think, oh, virtual reality hasn't worked for 30 or 40 years. That wasn't in his head. His head was, how come nobody's figured this out? This should be possible. So you can go out there and you can do it if you take risks. The other point I wanted to make is stay humble. I cannot express how important this is. Ultimately, success is not going to be just you by yourself. Zuck didn't create Facebook by himself. Steve didn't create Apple. Gates didn't create Microsoft by themselves. Palmer did not create Oculus by himself. We created it with an awesome, awesome team. And the way that we did that was bringing people together and staying humble, respecting each other, pulling together, encouraging each other, and really, really pushing each other to do the impossible, to go out there and solve problems, but being humble. Say we, don't say I. And I cannot stress how important it is. Ultimately, building a team is about respecting and appreciating the others on the team and establishing these awesome relationships. So I think Jobs said the journey is the reward. And I like to think the memories and the relationships are the parts that you actually get to keep forever. And those relationships come from staying humble. The memories come from working hard, not sleeping, like you guys are about to not sleep. So it really, again, you know, and taking risks is what gives you this incredible outcome potentially. So I wanted to do one more. I had one more story and maybe running on, and I know that you guys want to get hacking. But since I was coming from Berlin and I haven't slept in a few days, I thought, you know, what could we do here that would really be remembered? Because you probably forget everything I said. Let's be real. You're going to have 3 days of no sleep, and you're going to look back and be like, that Oculus guy stood up and talked about a bunch of stuff. I don't know, he kind of talked about himself a little bit, and then he kind of talked about some other stuff, and in the end, he showed us something. So I brought the Gear VR, and I thought it would be cool to show you guys Gear VR. Most of the world hasn't seen it. I think only a few hundred people have seen it. So without further ado, hopefully Samsung doesn't get upset that I'm doing this. All right, so again, this started out as a 3D printed prototype, and we then went on and did, oops, I've already broken it, uh-oh. Prototype. It won't do that when you buy it. So this is the, fixed. This is the Gear VR. Woohoo! Awesome. Has a tiny little, Oculus logo on the side. We're really proud of that. But what you can see is there's no wires. Yes, no wires. It is untethered, and the way that it works, if you take off this front, which nicely pops off, is you take a phone, like the amazing new Note 4. Note 4. Woohoo! So you take the Note 4, and you pray that it just works right when you drop it in. So you push it in. That's the sound that you like to hear. All right, so now it's in. We hope it just turns on. Can we get a demoer out here? Maybe, Alexis, you want to hop out? All right.
Don't make me puke.
Well, I won't because it's all black inside and it didn't turn on. Hold on 1 second. All right, now, Yeah. I think it might be on. No, that's the phone. Can't expect these hackathon presentations to work perfectly. It's coming. All right. Something's happening. Something's happening. Yes, we're there. Okay, hold on. So there's a whole lot of stuff to do. Here you go.
So I'm just going to act the fool up here while you keep talking.
Exactly. So put it on, and now you are in the future. Yes. And you look really good. So if you use this hand over here, and you go right there and tap the OOBE video. Oh, you already tapped something else. You're in. You're in Circus Soleil. What do you think?
Well, what's especially crazy
is you on stage.
and I know that there are no seats behind me, but it feels like there are. Man, wow. All right, so this is already an amazing show. I just got an option to drop acid. Do I do that? Oh man, this is getting real. Yeah. No, that is pretty fucking amazing. I don't even like Cirque du Soleil. I don't even care for it, but yeah, that's pretty impressive.
All right, so if you want to pop it off, welcome back.
Wow. All right, wait, tell me.
Yeah.
Tell me John Carmack when he's back at the offices, because I grew up, id Software, Masters of Doom was the book that inspired me and Steve to start Reddit. Tell me John Carmack sits in the offices and like just hangs out at Cirque du Soleil some afternoons.
He does.
And there's a way to enable a rocket launcher.
You do not want to rocket jump in Gear VR yet. You will leave your stomach on the platform here. You don't want to do that. No.
So
But
are they going to get to play with this?
yeah, I can pass this around. You guys can check it out. But whoa! Don't throw it. I only have one.
This is why we can't have nice things. This is
Yeah.
the only one?
That is one of like 20 right now.
Collector's item.
It's one of probably, about 20 in the US at least. The rest are in Berlin. I had to smuggle that out.
Nice.
Just for you guys. Awesome. Okay, thank you. Cool.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll turn it back over. Have a great show, guys. Go out there, create the future, and let me know if you have any questions. Happy to share, and we'll show you the demo. Cool. Good luck, guys.
Real quick. Kind of based off their talk, at hackathons, you're building the future. This isn't the best place to find your boyfriend or girlfriend. It isn't a place to judge people for anything but their work, and it definitely isn't a place to yell at your teammates. It's a safe place to learn, to meet new people, to try new technologies, frameworks, languages, everything. And it's a place to build amazing things. I want to be able to wear my pajama pants at a hackathon. And as much as I love my nerdy glasses, I want to feel comfortable being here and not wearing them. And after all, we're going to be spending 24 plus hours with each other. Like, you want to be comfortable. We all want to be comfortable. So all jokes aside, we're going to have zero tolerance for any behavior that makes people feel uncomfortable at MHacks. If something happens to you or you see something happening, find someone with a purple shirt, find me, and we will escort them out of the event immediately. And I just want to put that out there. We're not joking about that. So if you see anything, please just let us know. When we started working on this MHacks 2 years ago, we couldn't have imagined 1,000 people in a room that are about to build amazing things. And this new MHacks team has a much more radical vision than anything we could ever imagine. This is going to be the best MHacks yet, and who's ready to hack? Let's go.